Hey everyone, welcome back to Lemma's Creations DIY. My name is Tammy. Today I am bringing you 7 different new Christmas crafts. So get on a nice cozy sweater under a nice blankie, grab a cup of hot chocolate, and let's start crafting. For our first craft, we're going to need 2 plates. I grabbed these from Dollar Tree. They were $1.50 each. And I picked up this glass as well at Dollar Tree. It was $1.25. We're going to clean them all up and get them all cleaned. And then we're going to take them outside and spray paint them with this brown trim-clad rust spray paint. And then I'm going to give them a good coat of a clear sealer, just to make sure none of that spray paint comes off. And here's how they turned out. Covered pretty good, I think. And I couldn't get the words off of that glass, but I'm pretty sure the paint covered that pretty well too. Now taking my E6000, I'm going to carefully go along the edge of the glass, the rim, in a few different spots. And then taking my hot glue gun, I'm going to go in the spots where there's no E6000. This way the hot glue gives me my hold for now, and the E6000 will cure and give me my hold for forever. And then we're just going to place it in the center of the plate. And then again, using E6000 and my hot glue, we're going to place the second plate right on top. And this will give us a beautiful tray. Careful, these are glass. So if you do drop it, they will shatter. And that's what it should look like. On to this craft. I picked up these little crafter jars from Dollar Tree, and first we're going to take off all those stickers, which came off pretty good. I was surprised at how well they came off. Then I made these on Canva: peppermint, marshmallows, and hot chocolate. First, what we're going to do is cut them all out as close to the image as we can. Then I grabbed some cardstock paper that is winterized or Christmas-like, and I'm going to cut off 3 pieces of this cardstock, the same width as our little signs that we made on Canva. If you don't have Canva, you could use whatever program that you have. After I cut them out, I first tried with a glue stick. I just added some glue to the bottom, lined it up with the jar. There's a little seam in the jar, so I lined it up there. Wrapped it around, see how far I needed, cut off the extra. Then using the glue stick again, I added more glue, especially on the edges, and I wrapped it around, making sure that it was sticking. Then when I put it down, I realized the glue stick isn't working, so I switched to the hot glue. So I did the exact same thing, but with the hot glue, and I only hot glued the ends. I did that to all 3 jars. Now taking one of our signs that we made, I'm going to use the glue stick again, and we're going to place it right on top of the cardstock that is on the jar. This one stuck pretty good with the glue stick. Taking this pretty ribbon, it's got snowflakes and trees and stuff on it. We're going to wrap it around just underneath where the lid screws on. Cut off where we'd like to cut it off. And then I'm just going to hot glue it into place. A little dab of hot glue under one and a little dab under the other one, and it sticks into place. Then taking some more of that ribbon, I'm going to make a little tiny bow. So I'm just going to cut off enough. Then I'm going to hot glue the 2 ends together. Excuse me. scrunch it in the middle, and then using a piece of jute rope, I'm going to tie it in the middle. And I do the exact same thing for all the other 2 jars as well. Cut off the little extra pieces, and then glue it right on top of the ribbon, just like so. Third craft. I picked up this little snow globe from Dollar Tree. I don't know if I can call this a craft. I thought it would be kind of fun to do though. So what I do is I take it apart. As per the instructions, you sand the bottom of this little piece, and then you sand the bottom of whatever ornament or anything that you're going to be gluing onto it. So I sanded the bottoms of, I think it's 5 trees. Then taking my hot glue, I'm going to glue the trees down. In any which way you want. If you have a little Santa, you could put a Santa in there, snowmen. This is a super fun craft to do. Now, taking some water and the other part of the snow globe, we're going to fill it up just enough so that when the trees go in, the water doesn't overflow. In the instructions, it also says that you can use baby oil or oil instead of water. I use water. Taking a little bit of fake snow, we're going to add the fake snow to the water. Just a little bit, not too much. Then using, again, my E6000, we're going to put the E6000 around the rim of this part of the snow globe. They say to use any kind of glue that could be a permanent glue, but also hold it there that the water wouldn't come out, if that makes sense. Then after the E6000's on, we're going to squish that back on. Make sure it's nice and tight and snug as a bug. I wiped off any extra. Put the cap back on. And we have a snow globe. It also says to kind of like squeeze the bottle and stuff to make sure the water doesn't come out. Then it can't be a craft without some ribbon. So I took some ribbon. I think this one has snowflakes and little swirls on it. Wrapped it around the base. And then made a cute little bow. Glued it onto the bottom. And then I glued a little bell right in the middle of the bow. Next craft. I picked up this sign, and I have 2 tumbling tower blocks. I don't know if I got the sign at Dollarama or Dollar Tree, but I have that sign. And I painted it with that baking soda and paint mixture. I made this sign on Canva. I'm going to trim it down to the size that I want. Carefully with my scissors. And then taking the bottom of a paintbrush, I wanted the corners rounded, so I just used that as a template, and I rounded the corners with that and then cut them out. Taking some Mod Podge, I'm going to lay a nice layer, thin layer-ish, of Mod Podge on the back, and we're going to stick it to this little wood piece that is already painted. Then Mod Podge on top. And I just do the sign itself. I don't Mod Podge the entire thing, I just do the sign. Then taking this burnt umber paint, I decided I wanted to dry brush some paint going from the edges in. Give it a little more color and dimension and depth of color in there. And then when I was doing that, I decided I was going to paint the edge as well. It looked a little bare, so I thought, let's paint the edge. Taking the 2 tumbling tower blocks that we painted already, I'm going to put some hot glue on the block, stand up my piece to how it would stand, and press it up against it, so that way it has its own stand. Then I took some already pre-painted beads that I had in my stash, put a little bit of tape on the end of jute rope, strung on, I think it's 10 beads. I tied a knot in both ends, and then I glued it down to the sign. Then I took some painter's tape, put some painter tape on top, to hold it a little better. And then I painted the tape on the back so it could blend in with the rest. Didn't have this green sticking out. And there you go. Next craft. I have 2 tumbling tower blocks. What we're going to do first is we're going to hot glue one to the other into an L shape. Then we're going to paint one red fully on all sides and one green fully on all sides. Taking a black paint marker, I write out the words Noel and O-E-L. And then I hot glue a cute little tiny red bow at the end. Super quick and easy craft. That one's done. I picked up this, I think it's a cutting board, little mini cutting board. I got that from Dollar Tree, and we're going to paint it, I think it was burnt umber. Now I have this gingerbread cookies recipe. I'm holding it there for a bit because it's an actual recipe that I got out of my cookbook. I'm going to cut it down as close as I can, and then taking some water and some paintbrush, taking a paintbrush and some water, I'm going to go along the edge with the water and the paintbrush and then tear it off with my fingers. And I do this all the way around the edge just to give it this nice little wispy look. Kind of make it look aged and old. And I go all the way around. This is a tried and true recipe, works all the time. Then taking my lighter, I'm just going to singe around the edge a little bit. Be careful when doing this because paper does catch quick. So you got to be ready to blow it out. But I suggest if you're in the younger age not to do this part. You can use ink or paint to do this same step. Then taking some Mod Podge, I'm going to put a nice layer of Mod Podge down on the board. Excuse me, sorry. And then we're going to put a light layer of Mod Podge on the back of the recipe and lay it down on the board. And then I Mod Podge the entire board from top to bottom. Oh, I used a little piece of garbage of cardboard to help spread it out, flatten it down. Use what you have on hand. Nice layer of Mod Podge on top. Then I made this little bow. It's a snowman bow. It's got snowmans and snowflakes on it. I have this little gingerbread in my stash, and I'm going to glue him right on top of the handle. That one's done. And this is the last craft. I'm going to paint the beads that are in front of me all green. Those 2 rows. And the beads that are behind those all red. Those 2 rows. I think I have a total of 30 beads in 2 different sizes, mind you. But then I picked up these color your own ornaments. It's a snowflake. I got those at Dollar Tree. And okay, so I've been having troubles with white markers. So I picked up this new one from Walmart. It's an oil base, and I thought it'd be great. Yeah. See, you can't even see it. So back to the paint I go. I don't know what's with the white paint markers. For me, they just don't work. So I painted the snowflake on the front and the back. Now to string our beads. Taking some nylon rope, I'm going to do red, green, but then it's also big bead too small, big bead too small, so on and so forth, like that. Tie the snowflake to one end. And then we're going to make a tassel. And my camera ran out of battery, so I'm going to have to talk you through the rest of it. But what I did is I wrapped this yarn around a couple thousand times, and then you see all the ribbon that's to the left of my hand. I would take some red, I got some bling bling ribbon there, some green, some other colors of green, and do that. And then I tie off the top, trim the bottoms, and I got a little tassel you see there on the right. And this is everything all set up on the tier tray. That little snowman sled I got from Dollar Tree. Same with the Santa sled. sleigh and the lighted Christmas tree. They came from Dollar Tree as well. I would like to thank everybody for coming along and watching this video with me. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. I so love having you here. If you're new, please subscribe, like this video, and don't forget to hit that bell. I hope everybody has a wonderful Thursday, and we'll see you again next time. Bye!